Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. So, I have been really, really busy today. I didn't even know. But Charmaine, you're over 2 hours on your live. Time to end it now. Sunny's turn. So I didn't even know. I only seen a message she sent me an hour ago. Anyways, so I guess Charmaine's live as well. And didn't know, didn't even look. I just got home. In a sense, I was working. Anyways, if I don't fall flat on my face during this live, I'll be amazed. I am tired. But I thought that doing this live was really important. That's why I was like, no, I gotta do this live. Gotta do this live. I'm gonna grunt through it for sure. Anyways, hey you guys, thank you guys for being here. And yeah, I totally feel out of it, obviously. TJZ mom's in the house. I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh, did Streamlabs? Yeah, okay. I feel like I'm just forgetting to do something is all. Hi Cammy, she said be back soon. See? Char's live. Hi Share Cares. And Streamlabs is in the house. You know Streamlabs does not like it when you spell your punctuation wrong. Thinks you're doing a link. Hi Pinky. Hi beautiful Sunny. Hi beautiful Pinky. Hi Envision. Hello all. Grey Wolf. Hi Sunny and husband. Lately I've been like, hey husband, you want to join me on a live? And he's like, nope. he's he's too tired, too tired. But I'll get him up here again. Hi Violet, how are you? Hi. I want to say, see that E in the middle of gas because it looks like gas gal, right? I'm not even sure if I'm even saying that right whatsoever. Gas, oh gas, no, yeah, throwing me off. Hi everyone, be here once Charmaine is done. I'm I'm still in Char on tablet, you on phone. It's like gas. Okay, gas pay. oh, Okay, gas big Al. Gas big Al. Thank you for clarifying. Because that E always throws me off when I catch it, and I always almost want to stumble. So today's live, um, I'm going to be playing two videos, and thank you to a beautiful lady named Brenda had sent me these. And so I don't know if any of you guys have seen these. Um, and her name is Natasha, and from Behavior Breakdowns. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, like, if someone could put the words in my mouth more eloquently, in a more professional manner, um, Natasha did exactly that. And I think you guys will agree if you haven't seen it. So I'm actually looking very forward to what her take is on Malaya's interview as she plays it. And, like I said, it's like someone just taking all those things. And actually, there was something there that I actually missed in Malaya's interview. And we'll talk about that when we come to it. Did Charmaine end her live yet, you guys? Great. Thank you so much. Hi, Ann. Hit the like button, please. That's right, Pinky. Hit the like button. Or hit your pinky on the us. Hey, everyone. Hi, Noni. So, yeah. So, um, before we get started, though, on that, because there's two videos. And again, on one of the videos, I simply asked Natasha if she wouldn't mind if I played them on my live tonight. I'll actually, let's see, I'll probably go back to my own post and see exactly what she said. But basically, the answer is yes, go for it. And prayers for Jack and Lily. And so I thought that was very nice because it's just like I just didn't want to sit there, you know, and play them. And I just wanted to ask if it was okay with that. Just like, shall I ask for one? Did three guys. But anyways, so I think that you guys will find these two videos. Just like I said, I feel like how we feel, even though we don't know the answers to what happened to Jack and Lily. I mean, your guess, Wink, is as good as mine. But to me, this lady nailed it. Um, you know, but obviously, I can't say I don't know how long, she has been following the case. I know we cover it all the time. And how, hey, Belinda, that we cover it all the time. And, there's a lot of things in there. But to me, I listened to it and I just really felt that if you guys haven't seen it, you guys need to listen to this lady. And, 'cause she puts it in such a great way interpreting analysis of Malaya Brooks. But we'll get into that in a second. So, first and foremost, I want to, well, give my love to you guys, especially Belinda. Okay, I got a little bias going on there. Anyways, love you, Belinda. Hope you're having a good day today. Like I said, I'm doing this live, you guys, when really I want to hit that bed right there and face plant for hours. But I'm gonna suck it up and go through this. So we'll start off quickly with, if you guys don't mind, um, you guys know, of course, who Joyous is, right? So Joyous is on this streak of donating to Belinda's GoFundMe. And it's like in a row. And each number is a little bit different, but they're all like 691, 692. So, Joyous, I, I mean, she did it yesterday, I believe it was. Yeah, something I can, what does it say? 19 hours ago. And then there was somebody else, Belinda, that donated $20. And so, again, I mean, it's crazy to see, you know, um, the love and support. And Joyous is, it's just wow, right? I mean, that's what, how many is that? One, two, three, four. So 693, 692, 691, 687. Um, and then Belinda's underneath of her. But I don't ever want to feel like I'm taking away from anybody else. But I mean, she's been doing this pretty much like the last few days in a row. And it is, I mean, honestly, she says that the best way she can basically, show the love and support, for Jack and Lily, Belinda, and that is through, her pocketbook, obviously. Um, and it means a lot to Belinda, all your guys' love and support. So I don't want to take away. Oh my God, Ben Ben's in the house. Hi, online husband. How are you? Miss me? Been thinking about me? Dreaming about me? Nice to see you, Ben. Always a pleasure. But anyways, besides Ben, you guys, just again, just wanted to say again how much Belinda and myself and everybody else, I'm sure that's supporting Belinda, because it's going to be very costly for the lawyers and that. But thank you guys for being those kind, sweet people of the world, and that some people, um, you know, can make a difference monetary wise. Others can't. Absolutely understand that. But that's again, if you haven't hit the like and the share for Jack and Lily, please do. Again, comments, and of course, the algorithm likes the likes and the shares. They like comments after the videos. Oh, and I forgot. There's that hype thing that you can do. Hype it up. Yeah. I know. This has been so overwhelming. Thank you, Joyous, and everyone. Yeah. Um, Cheryl, again, all the all the dollars that you're probably catching up to Joyous there with all the dollars you're putting out. Hey, just saying. So I'll drop the link again, and it's just that I'm just all I'm trying to do is just drop the link. If somebody does a donation, so there was an anonymous that did $20 as well, right? Because I knew I could tell it went up just a little bit there. Like I remember it being like whatever it was, obviously 66 or something. So I had to scroll, but I found it and it was an anonymous person. So thank you, anonymous person, for donating to the GoFundMe for Belinda. Again, it's for the legal justice for Jack and Lily, and bless your bless your caring hearts. Actually, that's what my PayPal is, eh? At the end, it says bless your caring hearts. And I did that because, well, because again, there's a lot of beautiful people out there in this world, um, and it's very nice to see a lot of good people. We don't like trolls in here. We're not here for that kind of BS and stuff like that. We're just here to advocate for Jack and Lily, and be their voices. Share their pictures, talk about them, talk about the case. How can we hype? Well, I just know that if I go to somebody, say live, or once it's over, I believe. It's once it's over, then there's like a hype button. Yeah. I've seen it a few times. You think you're ahead of Joyous. Ooh, let the battle begin. Let the battle begin. All right. Just another thing I quickly wanted to show you as well. So again, anyone that wants to add to the GoFundMe and you have the ability to, again, it's for Belinda, and the help is so much appreciated because she could never do this without your guys' love and support. Um, the other thing I wanted to show, oh my God, I forgot to show you guys something. I meant to show it the other live. It's nothing to do with Jack and Lily's case, but someone sent me this, and it was a post. And one thing that I actually didn't even think about, but Natasha did in her video when she was talking about it. But why is Cheryl the one that's wearing the shirt for Jack and Lily, and Malay is making her political statement there for the, land back? Isn't that just quite ironic that Cheryl is doing Jack and Lily more justice? Like, she's the one, and Angeline speaking up, right, for Malaya, because Malaya couldn't seem to do it herself. But why is it that Cheryl is wearing, like, I mean, great, absolutely. They made the shirts. I remember Haley showing them to me, for the vigil. Um, it just doesn't make sense that Malaya is not wearing one of these shirts as well. Actually, Angeline, where's yours? Now that I see you. But anyways, but it says, what post, Cheryl? If the families were posting stuff, we would all definitely share it around and for more coverage. So the poster that Cheryl has says, keep sharing our posts. Well, I absolutely agree. So besides a select few people that might know about the posts because they're in the group and the talkers, I don't know about any posts, or I would share them as well if there was all these postings going on. So when it says keep sharing our posts, I mean, I agree with this. What posts? The posts that are, are they on Malaya's Facebook? Those posts? But the thing is that, if you're going to have posts, though, like I said, they need, I don't see anybody putting up all these posts of, that who's ever posting these besides maybe people in the circle. Hi, Chelsea. It's okay. Sunny is always on for many hours. Shh. Oh, gasp. No, gaspe. Gaspe. That's it. I'm going to get that right. Share because I couldn't believe my eyes. Well, the thing is, again, bunch of YouTube creators, I'd be putting up posts. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if Malaya had been posting and stuff like that all over her social media, I would have been sharing those. But we never saw it. We saw one thing about, the Amber Alert, really. But anyways, you guys, I want to. Oh wait, no. I have to show you one thing before, or should I save it? No, I'm gonna show you this one thing. I know it's kind of cutting in the middle of it all, but I was just kind of upset because I remember, downloading it, sending it to my phone, and then sending it to my messenger, and I was like, I'm gonna show this. So my husband's like, oh, I'll just play it. Okay, so this is totally nothing to do with the case. I'm just playing it because I thought it was very cute of my husband when he was. It's just the little animal, the little praying mantis is so cute. Gotta go to my own Facebook here. Sunny, Sunny, where are you? There you go. Okay, let's bring it up. Okay, yeah. Okay, where's the. Oh, okay. Just 1 second. And then after that, we're going to get into Natasha from the behavior breakdowns videos, okay? And in saying that, it's running across the bottom of the screen. I'll be dropping the link. It is in the video already, like the link for her channel as well. At the at sign, though, if you put it into YouTube, at behavior breakdowns. And, but anyways, let me just quickly show you this. Stop screen, share video. Do I have it loud enough? Messenger. Let's see if I got it loud enough. Am I good? Okay. So my husband's like, did you see that video I shared in WhatsApp, with the family? And I'm like, nope. And then I seen it and I was just like, it's so cute. I'll make it bigger actually. I'm just going to take the wording off there and I'll make it bigger. So anyways, it's a praying mantis. And I mean, I personally have not come across one myself, but when they were downtown at this site, uh, apparently this little praying mantis come along. You want a sec?
That's mad. Look at his tiny head.
Yeah.
Don't breathe on me, you ill. That is, look at his tiny little beady head.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never seen one here.
That's mad. He's doing the jiggle.
Do they fly?
I assume so. He's looking at you doing a wiggle. That's mad.
I think he's looking that way.
Just rocking his little feet.
Just enjoying the sun. That is mad. I've never seen one before.
Where's he going?
Anyways, I wanted to, oh, I didn't make it big. Could you guys see it? I thought I made it big. If you if it is spit in your eye, you go blind. I read up on them and they don't do nothing. They are not harmful. Sharma Daniel is on there. But anyways, I just wanted to share that. I thought I made it bigger. I guess I didn't, perhaps. But anyways, okay. So welcome, you guys. If you guys haven't hit that like and the share, please do. And is Charmaine still alive? By the way, hi, Happy Farm Gal. Hi, Deborah. Yeah, I mean, it's just so funny when you're looking at the little feet and he's just like, rocking out type of thing. Yeah, I read up on them. I read up on those and about the praying mantis. And they said that they bite. They don't kill their mate. Oh, that one. Yeah, that's true. So their bite, they said, it doesn't even break the skin. But yeah, then they kill their little matey. Kind of gross, but not gonna lie. Okay, let's get into the behavior breakdowns with Natasha, you guys. And like I said, I think you guys are really gonna. I just really like the way it was just like pinpoint everything. I was at the end of watching her videos, I was just like, bravo, bravo. Thank you, Brenda, for sending me, because I was just like spot on, like to a T, spot on. Anyways, so stop screen. Oh, what did I just do there? Well, we'll put Jack and Lily back up for a second there. Okay, share screen. Behavior. Okay, so this is their channel right here. I think um, I heard it like to use the word we. So I think that there's a couple of them that possibly host and do this, but I only came across the channel when somebody sent it to me, and very grateful for that. And I'm going to drop the link here as well. So if you guys haven't, you guys are going to love this. Now, she, like I said, so it's not like there's a bunch of Jack and Lily videos, okay? You know, it's one of those ones where there's different people cover different topics and stuff like that. But, okay, so that's the channel there. Okay, we'll get rid of that. And again, it's scrolling across the answers. You like my little thing at the bottom? We demand answers. Okay, so the one I'm going to play first here is Can You Spot the Red Flag? You guys, like I said, you guys are going to love this.
Reported missing last year. This is the first interview that Malaya gave almost a year after Lily and Jack's disappearance. This is the first time she's really sat down to speak to the media. A couple of things I want you guys to pay attention to as we jump into this first clip. And these three things can help you in any missing person's case. The first one is ask yourself who the victim is. Is the victim the missing children, or is the victim the person talking about the missing children? Number two is this an advertisement for the parent or a person giving the interview's innocence? Or is this a plea for help in the ongoing search of a missing person? And number three, pay attention to how the missing person or missing people are described. Do they talk about them only in past tense, or is there a shift between both past and present in the same sentence? Let's get into this first clip. I want to point out some of the major red flags, and he's clocked out.
What can you tell me about Jack and Lily? Lily is a very bubbly little girl who always smiles and loves to pose for photos. She loves unicorns and LOL dolls and to dress up girly. She loves dresses. Just like me when I was younger, I was always wearing dresses. She always loved to pick out her outfits, and I would bring her some and she would pick them out. Jack loves bugs. He loves playing outside, digging for things. Anytime he got a new dinosaur, he was always excited, and loves those dino smashers. Those were his favorite.
She's wearing a shirt that says land back. So after a year of her children being missing, and the first time she decides to go on TV to talk to the mainstream media, she decides to make a political statement. Her shirt should say children back. Before she comes on to make a political statement about Indigenous land rights, why not let's focus on getting your children back first? Before we talk about getting land back, let's focus on getting your children back. That already ticked me off. And the other thing I want to point out here is she says, just like me when I was younger, I was always wearing dresses. It's a bit of a red flag for me on that statement, because why are we talking about you? Why aren't we talking about your children? If she's trying to imply that Lily and her had a lot in common, or that Lily perhaps reminded her of herself when she was younger, she might have directly stated that. But even so, it's still a bit odd to bring the conversation back to being about her. She starts off by speaking in present tense. She's always smiling. She loves her LOL dolls. And then she shifts to past tense. She always loved to pick out her outfits. And she's speaking about Jack. Anytime he got a new dinosaur, he was always excited. Loves his dino smashers. Those were his favorite. So again, another shift in present to past tense. And we also have a eye block and a lip compression. She has been doing some eye blocks already. An eye block in this situation, I would say, is pretty normal, because someone's recalling a traumatic experience can be difficult to process some of that emotion. So we might have the eyelids acting as a barrier, but the eye block comes out not when she's talking about the disappearance of her children, the eye block is coming out when she's referring to what her children loved, when she's talking about something that was her child's favorite thing. That's when we see the eye block. And we also see a lip compression. The lips also act as a barrier, preventing more information from coming out. Usually that's indicative of some withheld thoughts or withheld opinions.
Yeah, I bought them Easter baskets and Valentine's Day stuff, their Christmas stuff, birthday stuff, unopened cards for them to open when they get home. I have everything. I continue to get more because it's what helps me cope.
You're holding on to it so that you can have it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For when they come home.
Because they're not in the woods, right, Laura?
We have that moment where she says she's holding on to these toys for when they come home. There's just something off about the look on her face in this moment, something that gives me that gut feeling.
For when they come home.
I want to say that too. You know, when she picked up on that, you know, I felt the same thing as well. That, you know, well, we all know, okay, what we feel. Most of us feel about this entire interview in its entirety. But it's kind of like the same thing that she said there too. You know, it's just, to me, it's just like it's not believable, and it was odd. I remember catching up on that same thing. Did you guys as well? You know, like I said, my grandma always says if it doesn't sound right to the ear, that's because it's a lie or a deception, you know, because something has to sound right. And we all know that this whole case does not sound right. There's nothing about this case that actually makes sense if you're looking at, to me, at innocent people, in my opinion, that don't, you know, they claim that they don't know, you know, just waiting to come home. But anyways, did you guys pick up on that as well when Natasha said that? Like I said, everything she was saying, I'm pretty sure mimics our thoughts. The t-shirt thing, though, I didn't pick up on that. I didn't pick up on that. You bejeweling me? Thank you. We'll do that one. We'll pretend like they're rhinestones in honor of Dolly Parton. All right, checkers? On there. But anyways, so like I said, this lady's really, really good.
I think for me, it's something to do with the eyebrows. It's something to do with this area up here. It doesn't look like grief. It doesn't look like sadness. It actually reads more like anger. It's a huge pet peeve of mine when interviewers do this. They feed their subject the response that they want. Let the subject do the talking. Malaya's also replaced some of her children's toys with new ones. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Children's toys are very special to them. So a replica of the same toy feels less valuable. Write it in the comments if you have thoughts on that one.
When did you see Lily? Do you recall?
Can't recall the exact time.
Sometime after they woke up that morning.
Yeah.
And then what?
Well, just quickly, of course, we all know in the document she said 8:20 was when, like, it says 8:20 in the documents. But like I said, I can't understand how it's like, again, I guess maybe if you have to remember all, perhaps the lies you're telling in order to cover up the truth, you know, then it's just like, yeah, I don't remember all of a sudden. It's kind of odd that, you know, all that stuff happening in the morning and all of a sudden she forgets totally. But again, she skims over the whole morning in this interview, and I agree with her. Thanks, Checkers.
Here's Super Chat, $2 Canadian and 79 cents. You're awesome. Thank you. Bring them home. Enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, but Malaya, she can't decide if they're in the woods. She can't decide if somebody took them, you know, and has them, and yet she's like, we have, like I said, this lady Natasha from Behaviour Breakdowns, to me, just did an amazing job on this.
What was the next thing that you remember of that morning? Just waking up, seeing Daniel next to me, and I didn't hear them. And I woke Daniel up and said, I don't hear the kids. So we both went out, and then that's when we started looking for them. And that's how it.
But we all remember that Daniel said that he was the one that said, I don't hear the kids. And then later retracts that, I guess, because the stories had to align properly there, right? But it was just like, yeah, maybe Malaya did say it. Maybe she's the one that said it again. Just too many red flags in this whole thing.
All unfolded from there.
These are two young children. Why are they being left unsupervised at all? If we take a look at the conditions of the home, this is an unkept, neglected home. This is no place for a child to be playing. This isn't a safe or healthy condition for a child to be living in. You can see in the background of some of the photos, the house looks very messy. It looks like it's unkept. In the very least, we might have a case of neglect. She says, hearing the laughter of them playing together in the bedroom and seeing Lily's face pop in the bedroom. So if Lily's face is popping into the bedroom, then Lily is not in the bedroom playing together. So there's a bit of a discrepancy there for me. She's recalling the morning of, and she says, waking up, seeing Daniel next to me, and I didn't hear them. I turned to him. I said, I don't hear the kids. So we both went out, and that's when we started looking for them. So absence of Lily and Jack's name, it's non-personal, it's distancing language. I don't hear them. I don't hear the kids. We started looking for them. Hearing the kids. Now that memory is auditory, and hearing is a big part of this story. I heard the kids and then I didn't hear the kids. She never once says, I didn't see the kids. So I have a feeling that she never saw the kids that morning. She also says, so we both went out. Where did you go out? Did you go out of the bedroom? Did you go?
I hate to stop and start this, but there are points because I won't remember them all at this point. And you guys can go to the channel and watch it like fully without interruptions yourself. But anyways, absolutely. Like even in the interview, she doesn't even say that she heard them playing in the room. She didn't say anything. Again, she said to Belinda that the last time Belinda and her sister, last time she saw Lily was on Thursday night. Again, who are you going to believe? Someone on the property that you can't trust, can't believe in, because the actions have shown that. Someone can claim all they want till they're blue in the face that, people are picking on her and all this stuff. Sorry. Again, it's your actions. It's what you and Daniel have been doing the entirety of this case. And it's red flag. You guys know that it's a mountain of manure. And it's just red flag after red flag after red flag. And it's just like an endless pit of it. So I'll be a monkey's uncle if ever the day comes that honestly, that my opinion will change. So up until I hear from RCMP pretty much answers, my opinion is pretty much stuck where it is because there's nothing at all. Every time you look at this whole case, it always goes back to the property. They want you to look away from the property, plant a blanket here. No, did nothing. Come on now. That in itself says everything right there, or at least a good chunk of everything. But it's just like I said, they're trying to veer off like, oh, traffickers must have come onto the property, taken a piece of blanket, threw it up in the tree a mile down the road. Yeah, because every trafficker thinks to do that, So, again, it's just everything but to look at them on the property. Anyways, I'm just going to hit back for a sec.
kids and then I didn't hear the kids. She never once says, I didn't see the kids. So I have a feeling that she never saw.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Absolutely. Right? Because we don't believe in the timeline, or for the people that don't, absolutely. Right? Like I said, she didn't even say anything about the fact that she heard them, playing in the room before. But it's almost like I said, this narrative, it's to us, or most of us, we know that this, how we feel is it's a lie. And that she didn't actually see Lily, because she never said anything about seeing Lily. It was only when the documents came out that it was said. But again, the whole first interview to me is scripted. And it's just, you can always tell when Malaya's, like, even in that first interview, she just kept going on about how much the kids love to talk and talk. They'll talk to anyone. Oops, yeah, they're the perfect kids for abduction because they don't know anything about stranger danger and stuff like that. But you can always see Malaya, to me, her emotions, like, even if she's trying to say hide them, she doesn't do a good job, because her face, the lack of tears, to me, it's just like I said, a transparent window basically there. And
Got the kids that morning. She also says, so we both went out. Where did you go out? Did you go out of the bedroom? Did you go out of the trailer? Did you go outside? Did you go into the kitchen? So we both went out, and that's when we started looking for them. So she's bridging time, and that's when there's a lack of specific detail around the important information. And that to me is another red flag. She also does a head shake no when she says, and that's how it all unfolded. Sometimes we see head shakes no around disbelief. If someone truly is in disbelief over something, they might say, I can't believe that happened. But usually we see that head shake no on a negative. I can't believe that happened is a negative. I cannot. And she says, that's how it all unfolded. And there's a head shake no, another red flag for me.
You remember those hours? The trauma is so severe to the point where, like, I block it out because it's hard to sit with.
Yeah, the trauma is so severe, you guys. The trauma is so severe that I basically got a bed hop and find someone to lean on, have someone to lean on, because everyone, again, always thinks that, in the midst of two children missing, that you're going to sit there and have multiple relationships. And it's normal, right? Just absolutely normal. I can understand at some point, type of thing. Like, I can understand maybe past a year mark, perhaps. Just kind of like, if you're kind of lonely, and we all know that Malaya is like clingy, needy that way. She likes to have a man, simple as that. But honestly, you guys know how I feel about that, and you guys, I'm sure, feel. Is that how many of you guys would literally sit there and pay more attention to, almost like, okay, I literally have a message that has that on that Malaya cares more about guys, basically, than she does about her own kids. Well, looks like that came to fruition, didn't it, Malaya? But, of course, you're missing your children. You're doing everything you want us to be their voices, as you're, of course, leading the pack of everyone in the parade and everything, being a voice for your children 15 months later. It's so ridiculous, okay? It's like someone trying to sell you shit, like trying to sell ice cubes to the Eskimos. Right? It's just so blatantly obvious. Anyways, welcome, you guys. If you guys haven't hit that like, please do. We're watching or listening to Natasha from the Behaviour breakdowns. I was sent it last night. Was it last night? See, I can't remember. And I think it was yesterday. Watched both of them, and I was just like, I want to share these with you guys, because I'm sure some of you guys definitely have not heard of this lady, or I didn't know. I'm just so grateful that I was sent these, because I think... Linda, have you seen these already? This lady? Asking for a friend.
And sit with reality, and with no answers, I just... I just don't know how it even happened. Or they should have been found that day, and an Amber Alert should have went out. And
She says, I just don't know how it even happened. How what happened? You should know exactly how everything happened. There should be no confusion around how it happened. You were sleeping, you woke up, and they were gone. Allegedly, what you don't know is where your children are. But the story leading up to their disappearance should otherwise be straightforward. And she also says an Amber Alert should have went out. We see that tongue jut and a lip compression. She's gonna start to build a narrative here of the police not doing their job.
We know that searchers found a cluster of boot prints, one child-sized boot print on the trail, believed to be the size of Lily's shoe. What do you make of that? And the fact that there was another footprint found in a recent search.
I don't know, because I don't think I could speak on that.
Yeah, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I think her brain like literally went into outer space there when she said that, and I was just like, oh, actually, I haven't even paid much attention to it. Oh, I don't think I want to speak on that. I really feel like when she said that, it's almost like probably her brain did a meltdown at that second and she couldn't think of what to say. I don't think. Why couldn't you speak on that, Malaya? You talked about the boot print at the very start and everything like that, you know. So why can't you speak? Like what? I just think that her brain did a fart and it had a moment, and she was just like, oh, what do I think? Oh, didn't really, I think, know how to answer that question, you know. Right, Amy? Right, Violet? And thank you guys. But, and again, going back to that, when, again, I like I said, I love this lady's analysis. It was just like, to me, so spot on listening to her. And when Malaya's like, again, obviously, probably, maybe not for Malaya, because obviously she doesn't feel like she owes people anything, but, when she sat there, I just don't know how it happened. You kidding me? It just meant get your ass out of bed, take care of the children. But that's, again, if we believe in their timeline, which most of us do not, because it's just so, it does not make sense. There's so many bullet holes, it's not even funny. So many contradictions. But yet, it's like trying to keep stories together, and then Daniel tries to implement all these things. Remember when Daniel said, you know what, DT? You're right. It was amazing how fast that Malaya said, do you hear the children? It was almost like she just woke up and was like, do you hear the children? Oh, Daniel, right? Then Daniel has that look like, oh, yeah, you know what? I just thought about that. Whatever to you too, Daniel. Would any reasonable person believe this interview will get her more answers from RCMP? I mean, I'm personally glad that she did the interview, to be honest with you. I mean, talking about, okay, not for her, but for me, I'd be a bit ashamed of myself if I had 2 children missing and I tucked away pretty much from advocating for the children for 15 months. And then not only does she just come out strong right now, doing searches, interviews, but she's looking for other children. She's joining in other searches. She's becoming, drug counselor, some sort of addiction counselor and stuff, setting the goals high for herself now. Meanwhile, right? We have this man. Oh, moved on to this man. So the focus obviously is not there, right? Malaya, she probably won't agree, but you can tell this is from experience, okay? Because I got years on you, Malaya. It's really easy to see when people are BSing, and it's really easy to see why they're doing the things they're doing. Like I said, you can probably, think that you're this, great mom, and and you've got all this trauma and stuff like that, and that you're the victim of all this. When sure, you can be a victim after you find what happened to Jack and Lily, because we demand the answers, not you, because you're the one that is responsible, and Daniel, but you being the mother responsible for the children's disappearance. End of story. Bottom line. I get honestly inside, because of all the bullshit of this case and the actions of these people that are, caring so much about Jack and Lily. It does make me angry, because I just can't believe that somebody to me is sitting here that literally makes a comment like that, and yet she and Daniel are fully responsible at the minimum for this whole missing act type of idea, right? And have the audacity to sit there and make it so much about herself, not even vocal about Jack and Lily and all these people that must have them and stuff like that. It just angers me when I see shit, smell shit, talks like shit, walks like shit, right? It's because it is shit, right? And you see it with both of them when they're talking. It's just nothing to me but a bunch of lies, cover-ups, and then to me, one of these days, in my personal opinion, they're going to come to fruition. But it's like, who would even entertain all these relationships when 2 children are missing, right? Daniel, you know what? Go bunk a lot of different ladies, honestly. Malay is the mother here at the end of the day. If you partook in anything to do with Jack and Lily, Daniel, like I said, karma will be a bitch, come, and zap you when it's time. But we're talking about the mother of the 2 children, and that's what her morals are, is to, like I said, man hop around as her 2 children are missing. It's just beyond a normal person's brain to think that we would do that ourselves. Anyway, shut up, Sonny.
No, it doesn't.
And the same with the pink blanket. You want to talk about the pink blanket?
I don't even know how it even got there.
That was Lily's blanket that had been old and ripped apart?
Yeah.
And had been presumably in the garbage can, but made it onto a tree.
Well, see, I got to stop it there again, because because obviously she's sitting there nodding and agreeing about the blanket that's being talked about the one in the tree, and it was in the garbage can. No, you said it was on the railing, right? It was on the railing. We know it was on the railing. But so why is she so agreeable? Why? Because, again, she's acting like, I don't even know how it could have gotten that tree. It's just beyond me. Someone just walked into our yard, took the kids, grabbed a blanket, but it's beyond me how it even got there. But she's sitting there nodding the fact that it was in the garbage can. To me, that's one of those, almost when someone's talking, like you call it a Freudian slip. To me, that's a slip, is that she's just like going along with the story, but she's just like nodding and agreeing. Almost like, is she even listening to the interview? And I do agree as well. Most people have said this about Angela. She asks softball questions. There's not really a little bit of hardball with her. And I agreed. She leads into the answers in a sense, like almost like giving her the outs, or giving her like what to say, by how she phrases her questions to me. Like it's just a bunch of, it's definitely not even close to a Nancy Grace. Sorry, Angela. But honestly, I would expect some harder, a little, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be rude or ignorant, but it's 2 children missing and you're trying to find answers. And it's like, she's not even questioning. It's just like somebody going, I get it. Yeah, I understand. When really, I'm sure there's a lot more thoughts going through her head. Oh, there's Joyous, the Miss Donator of the hour. If you missed it, we basically pretty much bowed down to you at the start of this live. Thank you,
Kilometre away.
Joyous.
None of it makes sense. And I just demand answers.
Now she says, I don't know, because she trails off. We have some fading facts. She doesn't even finish the sentence. And she says, I don't think I could speak on that. Why not? My question is, why not? The interviewer to me is playing a little bit too soft. She says, none of it makes sense and I just demand answers. That emphasis on demand is quite interesting. It's the first time in this entire interview that we've heard her use that type of language. She says, I demand answers, but she's the one unwilling to give answers. She's the one unwilling to answer certain questions. So when she says that, I just demand answers, to me, it's an attempt to regain control. It's an attempt to sort of have control over the narrative again.
Do you think that they're in the woods?
I don't know. I just want the police to give me answers on where they're at and bring them home.
I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think maybe if somebody came perhaps clean, in my opinion, that then the RCMP would have the answers, but instead it seems more like two people that care about Meadow, that don't want to be doing prison time, and it's just a matter of covering up. And again, it's not because I believe that if my theory is true, it's not because I believe that these people are smart. It's the lack of digital evidence and that tying it into the crime. You like, it's so important, obviously, for people that watch true crime, that they have to have solid proof that they can say, that if they had remains, they could see, were these children, perhaps strangled? What was, maybe there's something on them, right? But they have to be able to prove that the person did it before there's ever a conviction. So it will always stay in missing persons until the day that one day we hear on the news, or somebody that has close information, that charges have been, made against individuals that absolutely know. Well, I got a cough. Kind of like Lily on Thursday. Take her into town. But you know what I mean? So that's the catch-22 right there. And I just think that rural land, sketchy. Like I said, to me, I don't believe that this was planned. And the reason I don't believe this was planned, because I think if it was planned, I think that there would be a lot more traceable stuff to find, but we don't know what they have. We don't. But to me, it's like, if it was planned, you would, see transactions of certain things. I don't really think that that's there too much. I think mostly it's Daniel left his phone on the side table. Janie left her phone in, the trailer before the police, or she left it in there, she said, before, and got it after the police got there, which was untrue, because at 10:19 is when you see her phone and she has that call, FaceTime call or whatever it was, and the police didn't arrive till like 10:27. So, anyways, and you know what, the smashing of her phone, who knows? Again, sus, she deletes this app from her phone, and then her answer is something like, because I didn't want them to see what I was saying to my mom. And what were you saying, Malaya, to your mom and Cash Cow Patty, that you use like she's and just milk her for what she's worth, pretty much. I'm sure you love her, Malaya, but in the form of, I'm sure you especially love her more when she was doling out money for you. You got a good grandmother. And you just, I think, feel like you just used her.
How do you feel the RCMP investigation has been going?
It feels like I continue to get the same update over and over.
It
And
was on the railing. I believe them.
I keep asking for new avenues, and they keep saying we're working on it. And I just don't feel like that's enough. I feel like I deserve more than that. And I deserve answers on where they're at, and I need them home.
One thing that we can do in the case of missing persons, when we're watching the family members or partner or spouse or friends of the missing person give these interviews, we need to ask ourselves, what's missing? And when I ask myself that question here, I'm left with a lack of specific detail around very important subjects. When Malaya is asked, do you think the kids are in the woods? She replies, I don't know, an answer she gives with zero hesitation. If your children have been missing for over a year, don't you think you would have given some thought as to whether or not they were in the woods? Innocent people are more likely to give us direct statements. They're not afraid to answer yes or no. They're not afraid to draw possible conclusions as to what might have happened because they aren't afraid of more information getting out. People who are guilty or who are carrying guilty knowledge are more concerned with perception management. So they don't want to give away too much information. They're more likely to be ambivalent when answering questions.
Do you think that they're in the woods?
I don't know.
In the least, I would expect to hear a statement like, I don't think so, but they might be, or I don't know, but it's possible because of X, Y, Z. But we don't hear any of that. There's a lot of things missing in this for me, and it's another red flag.
You've been polygraphed how many times? Twice?
Twice.
What was that experience like?
It was nerve-wracking, mostly because of the question I was asked. The second one wasn't as bad because I had already been through one, but I understood why they had to be done, and I just got through it. And because I knew the truth.
What was the question?
The first one was if I it's too heartbreaking to say.
Have some more eye-blocking behavior. She also has been looking down a lot throughout this interview. That can be an emotional eye-accessing cue. A missed opportunity here for me is she talks about knowing the truth. I think the interviewer should have asked, what is the truth? Or what is your truth even? But instead, the interviewer pivots and asks, what was that question? Now we kind of already know what that question is. Presumably we can make an assumption about a difficult question that would have been asked. She's not able to get there though. She's not able to fully answer the question and tell us what that question was for her. We see some eye blocking. We see the body kind of start to shake a little bit. Now everybody's different, but I don't see some of the things that we normally see in cases like this. We normally look for the eyes to go red. We see the nose go red. We might see the eyes fill up with water. We might see tears.
And yeah, she'll talk about that more later. Remember when Charmaine was pointing about the shaking, like, and then Natasha here talks about it too. I can remember Natasha's name because I have a boss that's named Natasha. But anyways, and it will be great too when Alexa gets back and can join us, because Alexa always talks about, the different movements of what typically happens, if you're truly in pain and sorrow and stuff like that. But anyways, like I said, pretty much everything we've said with regards to this interview, she's just, to me, nailed it, and has done it so well. So again, I keep dropping the channel for behavior breakdowns in there, and that way you guys can re-listen to it again. and just go to the channel and just re-listen to it without my interruptions and stuff like that. It's just that if I hear something on type of thing, and I won't remember it all, right? So only as I'm hearing it. But I mean, this lady does a good job in itself, right? But I know, like I said, I don't know how much she like fully knows about like the details that we do, more so because we've talked to so many family members, and um, between me and Charmaine and others, and Belinda's been on here, giving her side, and Haley's said some stuff, and Cheryl had, like, Cheryl Malaya's friend and stuff like that, you know. So like there's so many little details, but actually no, there's a lot of details that just don't make sense. And again, when the truth isn't hard to tell. And exactly, and that's another thing, a huge thing, is when you are innocent. You guys know how, if somebody asks you a question, you're not going to hesitate to give an answer. If you have nothing to do with your child's involvement, you're not even going to hesitate to answer those questions for people. You're not going to hold back. You're just going to be grateful, really, that you get to speak, you get to say, talk about the children in a sense and stuff like that. But between Daniel and Malaya, it's like pulling teeth. You got one that's in hiding and it's only giving up, saying a few things. But there's just not this advocacy for, you guys have seen it, there's not this advocacy for Jack and Lily. It's always like, Jamie, like, come to the property, you know and it wasn't about Jack and Lily. It was about proving how that they have nothing to do with it, right? As a mother, I honestly wouldn't give two shits what any naysayer said. If I'm telling my truth, then I'm telling my truth. And most people, not all, they know honesty and sincerity and genuineness when they hear it. And they also know full of shit BS, right? Malarkey when they hear it. And that's what we've seen in this case. It's not been like, like I said, Daniel, obviously if Lily poked her head in the room and it's true, you would see that Malaya was up at the same time because you accounted for a few times. Malaya accounts for one, but you didn't want to answer that question. Malaya didn't want to answer the question about the boots. Malaya didn't want to talk. I know that there's the second case going on, so I can kind of see about certain parts of questions that she might not have wanted to answer because of the case with Daniel, right? About, more in depth about the relationship and stuff like that. But come on, like the boot print. But anyways, again, if you're being honest and truthful and got nothing to hide, you're just going to flow freely. You're not going to be sitting there going, let me think about that. No, I don't think I feel comfortable answering that question. Yeah, blueprint's a real hard one to talk about, isn't it?
Come down, but we don't really see that for her. We do, however, see this shaking behavior. It's the only time we've seen that behavior come out. I am going to point out that earlier when she was speaking about Lily and Jack's disappearance, when she was talking about the morning they went missing, we didn't see that behavior show up. Now we see that behavior show up when she's being questioned about the question she was asked on a polygraph. To me, I would have expected to see more emotion for her come up when she's talking about Lily and Jack directly. Even if those polygraph questions were potentially very difficult for her, I would still expect to see more emotion when she's talking about her children, talking about the things that they loved, talking about the morning they disappeared.
Did police ask if you had anything to do with the disappearance?
No. But I kept asking that question myself to them, and they would just reply, "That's a good question," but also I didn't know why they wouldn't.
Sorry to stop that again, but don't you guys think that's odd that she actually says this? Like, it's almost like, Well, I want you guys to ask me about the disappearance. And in her mind, it's going to be because I know I'm going to say no. You know? I just think it's weird that she's kind of making this statement about this. Well, I mean, it's like someone begging to be asked because they know, certain things so it can be truthful. But it's like she said that they said that it was because, oh, that's a good question. But it just seems very strange that she's making a point about this. Yeah, like, I mean, usually when I'm in a polygraph, which I've never been in one, you know, like, come on, guys. Ask me the question about, did I have anything to do with the disappearance? Obviously, Malaya, nitwit, they're not asking you it for a reason because they're obviously looking to ask you certain questions. And that obviously wasn't one of them. And the first question, I'm sure, was, did you murder your children? Well, you know, I personally don't think, again, I think it was accidental. So that can be truthful, right? To, like I said, a lot of things like we talked about. You can still be guilty of knowledge or guilty of knowing and still come off as truthful because of, again, if you believe it in your head and stuff like that, and you're justifying it and stuff, and it was an accident. So yeah, so then did you murder your children type of thing? No, I didn't. She's probably going, Daniel, remember those drugs that were in the bathroom? Remember those drugs, Daniel? But anyways, this is Natasha from Behaviour Breakdown.
Polygraph me for that as well.
There's another video after this one.
But I already told them if any more polygraphs are going to be done, that I'm more than willing to go in and do them.
First in line, Malaya.
You wanted them to ask you that question? Can I ask you that question? Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No.
This is another problematic thing in this interview that I think the interviewer missed an opportunity to pull apart. This is a loose thread. She says, I kept asking that question myself to them.
I kept asking that question myself to them.
What an odd statement to make. I think she almost told on herself here. I think she meant to say, I kept asking that question myself, but she realized that wouldn't really make her sound super innocent. So she says, I kept asking that question myself to them. Why would you be asking the RCMP?
Okay, I get it. I think I get it. Malaya wants that question asked because because of being accused of having something to do with the disappearance, whether it's from Daniel, and that whole line of that Malaya's family. So it's like she wanted to basically be asked that question to basically see, like, see, I didn't have nothing to do with the disappearance. That was a self-motivated thing for the purpose of herself because she wanted it known. That's why she was wanting that question asked, now that I think about it. So it's still odd, but not odd when I think about the reason why. She just basically wanted to be asked that so she could say nope. And that everyone see, answer truthfully, right? From all the people that are saying that the children are hidden somewhere, which I know most of us believe that that's a crock of shit regardless. But I think that she was doing that for her own purpose for sure.
I have anything to do with the disappearance of my children. What's missing here is there's no direct denial. I never harmed my children. I would never hurt them. No anger at even being asked that question under the polygraph. No anger at the assumption she might have done something to her children. And throughout this entire interview, there is no ongoing plea for help in finding the kids. Now we have some different body language from her here. We have a different kind of movement happening, different than the body language that we saw before, where she was kind of trembling and quivering a little bit. This feels more like shuffling around. She's a bit uncomfortable.
What do you think happened to them? The only thing I can assume is someone took them. but for what reason, I don't know.
And if only they asked her that damn question, did you have anything to do with their disappearance? If only they fed that just for you, because it's not about Jack and Lily. It's really about the self-preservation of how she's looking by people accusing her that she has hid them somewhere and stuff like that. You know? Malaya, Malaya, Malaya.
And it would have been from your home.
So when she's asked, what do you think happened to them? We have that immediate lip compression, the lips pressed together, withholding thoughts, withholding information. Now, perhaps she just doesn't want to go there because it's very emotional for her. Instead of that lip compression in that moment, if she were truly feeling some heavy emotions around that question and what possibly could have happened to them, that's where I would expect to see that eye blocking behavior that we've seen from her so commonly throughout this segment. The lip compression is different because it's holding in information. It's holding back information from coming out. So you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. This is only half of this interview. I might do a part 2 on this one because I found it pretty interesting to watch. Did you pay attention to those 3 things that we talked about at the beginning? Was this an advertisement for her innocence? Did she talk in past versus present tense? Who was the victim in this story? Was it her or was it her children? And did she talk about the children in a way that was positive? Did she talk about them and say their names, or did she use distancing language? You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see a part 2, definitely write it down below as well. I always love hearing from you guys. I love reading your thoughts and opinions on these things as well. Now, Lily and Jack are still missing. They are still possibly out there. I think that it's worthwhile that everybody gets familiar with what they look like. You never know. I haven't lost hope for these kids. I don't know what happened in this case. I have my suspicions, but there's a chance that Lily and Jack are still out there. We're at 15 months now, so they could be anywhere. They went missing originally in Nova Scotia in Canada, but who knows where they could be. Get familiar with their faces. Remember to be observant. Always stay alert when you're out there in the real world. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to my channel members. Big shout out to you guys. Appreciate you. And I will see you guys.
Okay, so that was the first one, and then we'll watch the second one. I think the second one's shorter. I think this one was 20-something minutes. The other one, I didn't see. I was too busy liking and hitting the thumbs up and stuff like that. I just noticed when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I didn't even subscribe. Bad Sunny. Pinky, that was my first thought too. I think she wanted, yeah, I mean, I remember, I think vaguely when Shanann said something about, well, what if, you know, basically like she was rugged or something like that, drugged, and she doesn't really know if she had a part of in it or what. You know, pretty, what if Malaya was doing drugs herself and was out of it? What if? Who knows? The truth shall be told for Jack and Lily. Thank you for subscribing, Joseph, and there was somebody else early up there. Sorry, I put it up on the screen, but it's too far back. It started with P, though. Sorry, my bad, my bad. She's not trying to be nailed down to any specifics. Nope. No. Okay. Yeah. Right. You see how she was like, which made sense again. And this is somebody that obviously, where, you know, I personally wouldn't know how to pick up that cue. Like, yes, you can tell when somebody's being nervous and whatever, but I wasn't looking at it that when she's asked certain questions, right, when they're directed at her type of thing, then she starts shaking more so, you know. But when she feels comfortable talking about it, there's nothing at all, you know. But the biggest one, again, one of the biggest things, like, there's a lot of them, but we all know, and Malaya's no exception, unless she's cold-hearted and has no feelings whatsoever towards her children. I don't know, but I don't think so, because she, I mean, she seems to care so much about Meadow on there. Thanks, baby monkey. Thank you.
And that monkey I 1K super chat. 2 Canadian dollars and 79 cents. You're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, baby monkey. Even baby monkey. So I see you make a comment after about the blanket, saying something about that it wasn't on the rail. Even though Cheryl had, like Millie had told Cheryl that, and then Shanann or whatever. So I'm not sure what that second part was about. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna watch part 2. Are you guys finding her very good, a very spot on point? And again, I know that I'm interrupting because as she's talking, it's reminding me myself of the points and stuff like that, you know. And so yeah, and it would kind of be boring if I just sat here for 26 minutes straight out, you know. But okay, so the second one, you guys are gonna love what she says in the second one. Yeah. So we're going to watch this. Go back to the second one now. I appreciate Natasha for letting me play these clips of hers. I think it's in the second video here. 1 second. She probably doesn't like me leaving that face up with her eyes mostly closed. Okay.
Ground in film and television production because...
Hold on 1 second. We're going to get back there. Hold on. There it is. I said, you did an amazing job at your analysis. I should have put they. They are all the same red flags and thoughts, plus more of why I believe this case is scripted to make us believe in a narrative, but yet everything screams the truth is being hidden. The actions, words, etc. don't match what you would expect when 2 children are missing. Absolutely don't. We have covered this case from day one and know almost every aspect of it. I talked with Belinda, the biological grandmother, and she has been on many of my lives. I would really like to share this on my channel as I feel it is exactly spot on breakdown, even more of your 2 videos. What did I put? Spot on breakdown, even more of your 2 videos, and credit your channel. Oh, okay. I obviously don't know how to use punctuation, which I don't. And credit your channel's content. Would this be okay? Jack and Lily are the victims. Amen. Then she said, thank you for your coverage of this story. It's important work. And yes, you can absolutely share this credit. And credit. Thank you. Let's keep Lily and Jack in our thoughts and prayers and continue to pray that they are found safe. Which I personally, like I said, I'm not all about copyright striking people. I think that in life when you're trying to do things, why would I want to restrict anyone from using information from my channel if it can, if somebody wants to use it to point out whatever, or something, or when Darren Geddes was on and play those, or when Belinda's been on and play those and stuff like that, right? Because just like when the documents came out, right? Belinda got some, I got some, as the documents kept coming out. And we just wanted it to be shared. There was nothing about sitting there putting my title or trying to stop people from having it. And you know what I mean? And that being selfish about that. I wanted everyone to have those court documents. So when those came out, those specifically came out because me, Belinda, had got those documents from, obviously somebody, different people, but others. But anyways, so all those documents that were released and whatever, it's because we want to see the documents, Canada is so different than the United States when it comes to documents. Yeah. Oh, which reminds me, my bad. Is Shannon in here? Shit. I was looking at her message. She had said, listening from the hospital to your live, Go, Sunny. Go, Sunny. Love to you, Belinda, Ben, and Sharon. Thank you for keeping it real. Something I think she said something about lovely lady. So is Shannon in here right now? So I missed it, but I seen you guys. Is she in here? Mm-hmm. Did I miss your message, Shannon? Da, 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 da. Hmm. Well, you must be in here for them to make those comments. Yeah. Love and light to Shannon, healing and prayers. Yeah. Yeah. Biggest prayers. Biggest prayers, beautiful lady. Okay, so we're gonna go to the second one here. And it's okay, this one is 13, basically 14 minutes long, okay? Okay, so
I can touch on that right now.
You know what? It's always cases like these that bring out my background in film and television production, because all I see here is a bad actor. What's up, you guys, and welcome back. My name's Natasha, and this is Behavior Breakdowns. My colleague just got back from a meeting with his other colleagues at the PARK, so he's obviously quite excited about that. Today, we are taking a look at the body language and behavior of Malaya Brooks Murray. This is part 2 of an interview that she gave with CBC. Now, a little background on this story. Malaya Brooks Murray is the mother of Lily and Jack Sullivan, 2 children from Nova Scotia who were reported missing May of last year. There were some major red flags in the first part, and I want to go over part 2 for you guys. After watching so many of these missing persons and missing children reports, it becomes easier to spot what a guilty person looks like versus what an innocent person looks like. So if you haven't seen part 1, definitely go check that out. This is part 2. Let's see what Malaya Brooks Murray has to say about her missing children.
There's been widespread skepticism, Malaya, about why you chose to leave the scene that day. What would you like to say about that decision?
The police had said that we should go, and told my family privately to take me out of there. And I was in too much state of shock that I just wanted to be with my family and my daughter. So we got out of there, and the police met us back at Mom's.
I don't personally believe that the police would ever tell a mother of a missing child or children to leave the scene if the mother wanted to be there and help search for her kids. Even if the police did say that, she's suggesting a blind trust in authority. In the way that she's describing this, she's allowing the police to take responsibility for her lack of action. When someone's outsourcing authority in the way that she is here, it allows them not to take responsibility for their own actions and for their own behavior. I was told to do it. The police said I should do this. I was just listening to them. I was just following authority.
Why didn't you go back?
I don't think I can touch on that right now.
When somebody has guilty knowledge or is guilty, they will intentionally inject ambiguity. They'll intentionally try to muddy the information. They will be ambivalent in their responses. So we have Mahala here not answering some straightforward questions. If the interviewer asks her, why didn't you return to the scene? The police told me not to. I mean, that's what she just implied happened. So why is it now when she's asked that question directly, it becomes more of a muddy answer? Well, I can't speak on that right now. What she's actually telling you there is that there's a lot more to this story than what she's saying.
Is there anything you can say about what life was like before May 2nd in the home with Jack and Lily and Daniel?
before I get past that, so obviously Malaya messaging me in Messenger, right? When she said that that Daniel would hold her down when she tried to call her mom and pushed her up against the wall, but only once. Um, so it's okay that you were willing to tell me that in Messenger, but then when you're being asked, all of a sudden it's like, I don't think I can touch on that. I mean, she could have just, you know, shrunk it down a little bit and, just say, I didn't feel safe or something like that or whatever. I don't think I can touch on that. That's because you don't want to touch on it. Thanks, Truth and Beauty. Thanks, Pinky.
I don't think I can talk about it right now.
Thanks, Share
Sorry.
Cares.
So here's something to look for in terms of guilty versus innocent people. Guilty people are trying to manage their perception. It's not that innocent people don't care how they're perceived, but they're less inclined to worry about looking guilty. Whereas someone who is guilty has that thought in the back of their mind, so they're always trying to manage their perception. You don't need to ask yourself, are they lying? Just ask yourself, what are they trying to make me believe? Hayla's asked that question, what was life like before May 2nd? She's too afraid to even say things were turbulent at home. She can't tell us that things were good, but she also can't go there to say that things were turbulent. She just responds by deflecting and by saying, I can't answer that question at this time. Red flags.
A mother of missing children would be speaking out, and even on a megaphone. Why hasn't that been the case for you?
Because the police had told me not to, that it would jeopardize the case, and I just did whatever they told me to do because I didn't want to jeopardize the case in any way.
You know what? It's always cases like these that bring out my background in film and television production, because all I see here is a bad actor. Also seen some major hesitation for her when answering certain questions around Lily and Jack. But when she's asked a question about her own behavior, the response is immediate. She already has a prepared statement. In these types of cases with missing persons, it's very reasonable to expect to see a certain type of behavior. We expect to see a certain pattern of behavior. And it's not unreasonable of us to be suspicious if her behavior doesn't match that pattern. It doesn't mean that she's guilty, but it does mean that we should ask more questions. When she's asked about why she stayed silent, again, we have that outsourcing authority, allowing the police to take responsibility for her lack of action. The fact that she didn't even remain in the area is concerning. What if the kids were to come home that day? What if the kids were found? Would she not want to be with her family then? Would she not want to be there for the return of her children?
No, because just like Belinda says, when Malaya left that property, and actually I kind of laugh because she says, I think she says like something like Mahala, and I remember when all of us were trying to get her name straight at the start as well. But anyways, just like Belinda said, she knew when Malaya left that property that the kids weren't coming home. And I think that's why with Malaya, like that's my personal opinion too. Malaya knew that the children weren't coming home, and she wanted, of course, to be with Meadow, right? And I get, again, you know, I think there's more truth to about the why she did leave. I'm sure, you know, like what is it now, Malaya? Now it's like, oh, now I kind of think Daniel has something to do with it. Between the two of you, I swear to God, it's just like...
Think of them today. Where do you envision they are? Or do you?
That they're being well looked after and they're together. That's all a mother could hope.
The interviewer asks her to describe what she envisions Lily and Jack like. She says that they're well looked after and that they're together. That's the wrong response. I'm going to tell you why. I have hope in this case that perhaps someone that Mihaela knows for some reason has taken the children out of the home and is hopefully keeping them safe somewhere. Maybe the person took them out of the home because they knew the home was not a good environment, and maybe they thought the kids might go to Child Protective Services. Of course, it's nice to envision them healthy and happy, but if they're missing and they're away from home and away from their family, they're probably scared. There's no fear, no panic, and more importantly, no concern. This is where I might expect to hear her say, I can't answer that, because the interviewer is asking her to visualize her missing children and where they are now. And there is no fear. That might be something that I would expect to hear, that my kids are missing home, that they are missing their mom, that they're probably scared because they don't know where they are or what happened. They don't know when they're going to come home. There's just that lack of fear. It's missing in this statement, and it's concerning to me to hear her say that.
You recently walked in a parade and there was a float for Jack and Lily.
And why is Cheryl wearing Jack and Lily's shirt? I can understand that. She's supporting Malaya, wearing Jack and Lily's shirts. They had them made up for the visual. Keep sharing our post has me at a loss there, but and then Malaya's wearing her land back shirt again. But isn't that ridiculous, the fact that actually Cheryl has the shirt on and Malaya's not wearing anything about Jack and Lily? Yeah, you're holding a sign, but again, it just is just unbelievable that she's wearing that same sweater to make her political point there. And Cheryl's the one wearing the pictures of Jack and Lily, not the mother. Not even a relative. She's like a friend of Malaya's, and yet she's wearing the Jack and Lily t-shirt. I find that so, like, that in itself says a lot about where her priorities are. So, hold on. So, guys first. Then about the land back stuff. Let's see. What else? What else comes before Jack and Lily? Malaya, right? And remember, you guys remember in the letter, the note, the letter that Malaya wrote, right? That she wants us to keep being voices. It's so ridiculous that she even sits there and acts like she's been a big voice for Jack and Lily. No. How do you find the time, Malaya? How do you possibly find the time? You're too busy getting breakfast in bed, and then, you know, oh, he's not good enough, or he's too good for me. Yeah, I gotta ditch him. Like, it just seems so, it's just so twisted. It's just so sick and twisted that 2 children are missing, and these are the parental prodigies, you know? Ugh. It just pisses me off to no end.
And you had some of their items that you made for them, keychains with their pictures on them, handing them out to the crowd. What was that like for you? It was very emotional. And I just kept walking forward and kept my head straight. Because I was doing it for them, to bring awareness to them, to keep their faces out there and bring them back home.
Person that she's walking with is wearing Lily and Jack's face on her shirt. Mihaela has a sign that says Jack and Lily, bring them home. She has a tiny little photo on there of Jack and Lily, so small you can't even see it on camera, smaller than those big circles of Every Child Matters. And I'm asking myself, what is the priority here? Is the priority the political statements? When she's sitting here in this interview, she's wearing a shirt that says land back. Indigenous rights are obviously important to her, and that's fine. But what should be more important is getting your kids home. By the way, again, not saying their names, using distancing language. These children, my kids. We don't hear Lily and Jack specifically.
But we know there's been a lot of public skepticism and criticism. What's that been like for you to deal with on top of everything else?
I don't like the negative attention and the made up stories that are taken from the case because no one has answers.
You know those made up stories by Darren Geddes and or Daniel and all that are the hidden? Because don't forget, Malaya wanted to be asked about the disappearance, if she had anything to do with the disappearance. This interview, the more I keep watching it, the more self-absorbed, the more I notice every time more so just how this really isn't about Jack and Lily. No being a voice for Jack and Lily. All she does is constantly talk about trauma, now, oh, us bad people over here, that are freaking putting your children's, I feel like we're more parents to Jack and Lily, right, Belinda? But the more I listen to this, the more it's all just to do with, not even, like I said, Jack and Lily so much. It's just about, what are you going through and all this stuff? How are you feeling today, Malaya? Did you want to take a rest for 15 months? They're there. It's okay. Go get all these mental health issues taken care of. Tell breakfast guy there, don't, I'm not going to put up with someone drinking liquor. Well, I wouldn't put up with a lazy ass that couldn't get out of bed to take care of her own damn children, according to the story that I don't believe is true. Anyway, I do. Like, I can't help it. I'm outraged inside that this case is such a shit show because of Daniel and Malaya, their own actions. Daniel, he turned it into a big shit show, but you know what? It kept feeding us some information because we were all looking for the little juicy little tidbits along the way to try to have some understanding of what happened to Jack and Lily, the timeline and all that stuff. But this really just comes off of, the more I listen to it, just how much it's about her. And this land back that she's wearing, like, it's disgusting in the sense that Lily and Jack should have been on your body in the parade and as you're sitting here. But both times you go to the parade, Cheryl, out of all people, is wearing the shirt. So good on you, Cheryl. Not even your kids, but you're wearing the shirt for Jack and Lily while she's trying to make her statement of land back. How pathetic is that? And it goes along with the interview. No cry, no tears. Everyone knows that when you're bringing up really raw emotions and you have to revisit in your head, right? It's like if I think about, and I don't want to compare this, but it's 2012, December 7th, my golden retriever was killed. I watched my golden retriever get hit smack in the middle by a car and went flying and howling. And I feel like it was like yesterday. And I don't like looking at golden retrievers. It's taken me years to continuously look at golden retrievers. And when I do talk about Bear, I always, that's my dog, a dog. We're talking about two children. Half the time, honestly, we love dogs. They don't really back talk and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying, right? All this time. And yet, she can well up her eyes, but not one tear. Not one tear. Like, she got some special no tear thing? Ducks coming down there? Can't ruin the makeup. Got it all ready for the show. Can't ruin it. I just can't believe that when somebody in their head, if I was thinking about my children missing and I had to have that thought of the children that come out of our, women, our tummies, I'll be nice, our tummies, that I couldn't imagine not being able to shed a tear as as those memories are all coming back. Thinking about the child you lost that you have no answers, thinking about all those sweet moments with your child and stuff like that. But Malaya, she's gonna. Well, I think possibly. I mean, RCMP. I know they don't believe that it was an abduction, a stranger abduction. But there's Malaya, going, yep. Don't look my way. Don't look Daniel's way. Well, Daniel, right? Don't look our way. And it just all rolls into one. Why aren't we seeing the tears? Why? Because the truth isn't being told, in my opinion. Why are we having such a shitty timeline that doesn't make sense? Amnesia, sleeping, the iconic things that people say when they're guilty, because they're like the go-to answers. Oh yeah, I don't know. I was sleeping, I was in and out of it, Yeah. The children are off of school. Children disappear on Friday, miraculously. Daniel has no filter in lots of ways because he's dumb that way. Tells us about black eye and stuff like that. She still has that sense of entitlement. Absolutely. You know? We all know that I demand answers, I think that the RC, it's like saying, you know what, RCMP, you guys aren't doing enough. Hey, why don't you get off your little tuffet, Miss Moffat? And literally act and show us all these posts and stuff and all these things that you're doing for Jacqueline. I'm so tired of people saying, well, in the background. No. Your children are missing. You're going to use every source you can, at least in the news section, okay? Doesn't have to be, on a YouTube channel, because, that's coming into its own. But you would use those outlets. You would not sit there and basically sit your ass. Oh, hi, Hearts and Dreams. 1 second. Just 1 sec. I'll come back to that one. Because I'm getting this Gaspy. Gifted 1 membership, and it's a crime and shame. Honestly, not sure who, let me just see who got that. Drippy Thoughtsicles got that one for there. What a beautiful name. I love this name. Hearts and Dreams. I've told you guys this. Some of you would remember, but my wedding ring, one day I will tell you the true reason why I have 2 rings, but it's XXX. So, anyways, I'll just leave it at that for now. But anyways, $32. I know you can't see it, but it's like they're hearts. I love hearts. So that's a perfect name. Hearts and Dreams. Hearts and Dreams. 100% Sunny. Just a clapping seal. Oh. Thank you so much. Very generous. Linda, while many entitled people aren't thinking layered, complex thoughts, they are just following a pattern. Drippy. Okay, I like how you said that. I like how you said that too. I wish I had. Hey, Monsters of Chaos. You're welcome. I love stars. Yeah? I like ice cream. Actually, you know what? When I made candles, I used to have a business where I made candles, like gel candles. Wax ones. I would make wax ones, but I'd make beer mugs with beer and then froth on top of them. But when me and my twin sister at the time were making candles, we were in like the dollar store and they had these really nice candle cubes, okay? And the collection that we had was sun, moon, no, hold on, sun, stars, and then there was a heart, right? And so because we were always buying so much glassware off the importer, I said, how come you guys don't have a moon? It's like sun, moon, and stars, right? So we would sell them for $5.95, cost a few cents to fill up those. Well, I mean, it was $1 for the, but they were thick. They were the frosted cubes, square, really nice, like really nice cubes. But anyways, I like stuff like that. I remember, you guys, I'll tell you one thing quickly, okay, off topic. There was this one guy that I was dating on Plenty of Fish. Not very long, let me put it that way. Pretty much. We talked for a bit, and then we went out once. So he come into the home, like, you know, came back to my place. And I could sense this weirdness going on, okay? And so I said to him, like, why are you sitting over there? Type of thing, like, what's going on, right? We know. And then he goes, I just can't. You got all things like this, live, love, and laugh. You got all these type of things around your home, and you just remind me of my mother. She's all into that shit, and I just can't do it. Months later, he's like, so, do you want to go out again? Fuck off. Really? Really, dude? But anyways, I honestly, I was taken back. Yeah, plenty of floaters. Plenty of losers. But anyways, sun, moon, and stars, magical, mystical stuff. Love it. So hearts and dreams, right? It's like a warm cup of hot chocolate thing. Let's see here. I'm just going to go back. Whatever Sunny thought we were sharing our interests. Whatever Sunny thought we were... Oh, yeah, you guys were sharing your interests? Yeah. Probably didn't catch all of that then. It's hard to keep up, to be honest with you. I mean, I gotta have some time to talk, right? Okay, let's finish this out.
So it seems like they're making up answers for clicks and views, which is
for your kids.
So
Malaya.
Disheartening, because these are my babies and these people are taking away from the case.
She's talking about people creating videos for clicks. She probably feels like I'm doing that myself. People can and will speculate. That's kind of a part of it. And she doesn't have to pay attention to that noise, but she should also recognize that that noise could also be beneficial in bringing Lily and Jack home. Again, what's missing in this?
Oh, what did she just say there? Right, Malaya? That it's beneficial regardless if you don't like what's being said, that Jack and Lily's faces and names are out there. But then you would have to care about Jack and Lily, in my opinion, Malaya. You would actually have to, truthfully make it look like you're trying to seek, answers of what happened to Jack and Lily. To me, I personally see it this way. Malaya's a bad liar. Daniel, he's a shitty liar too. And that man can twist shit all he wants, okay? But Daniel can at least try to kind of fake it more so. Malaya is just written all over her when she talks. All I see is 2 children went missing, a mother that hid for 15 months instead of being a voice for her children. And all I gotta say to that is, as a mother, have a cup and go fuck yourself. Like, fuck yourself. Sorry about that. I'm not going to say I'm sorry, actually. Because I just can't believe, literally, that people are being voices. And she wants to go to the negative about that. Because it's about her. It's not about Jack and Lily. She's not seeing any part of that. Who cares? Get your big girl grandma panties on there, Malaya. And again, I wouldn't give a shit if people were talking smack about me and whatever. Sure, it might bug me a little bit that, you think, Really, can't you see an honest person when they're talking type of thing? But at the end of the day, I wouldn't care because I'd be too busy focused on my children. Oh my to Joyous. What did Joyous do? MBM makes me really crazy hearing her talk about nothing. Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like having two brain cells and one's running around trying to catch the other, pretty much. Like, she just seems so clueless. Yeah, she would want to have Lily and Jack found. Absolutely. But if she stays quiet and hides, she doesn't have to, does she? Right? She can avoid of it. Oh, Teal, hold the line. Donated $7. Recently, like a minute ago or something. Yeah. Hey, Joyce. Joyous. That's gonna ruin your streak right there. Joyce had it all lined up. Doom, boom, 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 boom. MEM kids. Okay, wait. Shut up, Sonny. Let's finish this.
The missing piece is they're talking about Lily and Jack. If anybody has information, if maybe some people start to look at this case and start to investigate, maybe they'll find something the police missed. Maybe someone knows something that the police don't yet, and they can share that information. You never know.
What would you like the public to know? If there was anything you could say.
I want them to continue keeping my children's faces out there, keep reposting, just help scream their names to help bring them home. That I believe that they're out there somewhere and they will be returned home.
She also says, I want them to keep saying their names, but she doesn't say, I want them to keep looking for them. If they have any information, here's who to contact. The response that she gives is just about keeping their name out there and keep saying their name, keep showing their image. So that's all fine, but what about tangible action? Genuinely believe that she is sad. I genuinely believe that she's missing her children. But what I don't believe is her story leading up to the children's disappearance. One thing that I really consider and encourage you guys to consider when listening to missing persons statements is that, is the person trying to convince you that they're innocent or not? People who are truly innocent don't feel as much of a need to convince you that they're innocent. They already know they're innocent. They don't really give a shit what you think. Their priority is not going to be perception management. Their priority is going to be finding the missing person. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. What did you notice about what was missing from Mahela's body language and behavior? What were her priorities in this interview? Let's continue to keep Lily and Jack in our thoughts and prayers. Who knows where these children can be? It's a year after their disappearance. They were originally reported missing in Nova Scotia, but it's been over a year. They could be anywhere. So remember to stay observant out there, get familiar with their faces. There's tons of information online, including a link in this description with more information about Lily and Jack. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next.
I want to thank Natasha very much for letting me just play her videos. The link for her channel has been playing across the bottom of the screen, dropping it right here again. The channel's name is Behavior Breakdowns. Oh, 1 second. 1 second, husband's knocking. Oh, okay. All good. Husband just needed the wet wipes. I bought the wrong kind this time, though. I usually buy them in the packages, a bunch of them, the little Mickey Mouse cucumber ones, aloe. But I ended up buying, like, those big ones where you gotta open it up, and it's like, ah. Now, let's see here. I had a thought. The thoughts, oh, yeah. Monsters of Chaos. Again, I cannot let a lot of this stuff go like I said, realistically, when you're looking at this stuff. It's not because, like I said, I hate Daniel or hate Malaya, type of thing, because it really it has no bearing in this sense. Yeah, as parents, they should not be parents, etc., etc. That's just my opinion. At the end of the day, all I care about is the answers for Jack and Lily. And if I'm watching and you guys are watching yourselves, and do you deem that, Daniel or Malaya is being truthful? But there's just been so much that is going against them. But I'll always, like I said, those words that Daniel said to Lindsay Jones, that she's trying to blame me for everything so she doesn't get in trouble. So that makes it, to me, it almost makes it sound like it's more on Daniel about what happened to Jack and Lily. But yet she knows that what happened to Jack and Lily, and if it's drugs, right, then they're both culpable because it was being allowed to be done and stuff like that in the home. So there's something there to those words. And then when Lindsay had pressed him, like, well, what did you mean by that? Then he just skirted around. He did the same thing when I asked him about it on that 9-hour live with Daniel. He just kind of skirted around that question, like, meaning you could tell he was just almost making it up on the spot type of thing. But she's trying to blame everything on me so she doesn't get in trouble. Those words to me just stand out like a sore thumb. The blanket stands out like a sore thumb. I mean, when do I stop, to be honest with you? I feel like I was just bejeweled. Actions speak much louder. Yeah, so, I mean, this interview, I'm always glad, no matter what, right? Because in this case, I really wanted, when I realized that Malaya was doing this interview and many people had sent it, and then I was like, okay, like, I'll listen type of thing. But it was right clear from the start that I was going, oh my fucking God. Okay, and kind of like what Natasha said here, right? All I see is a fake actor, and she's not even good at it. That's how I see it. Daniel, same thing, right? For me, it's just like so transparent. Like, it's just like, it's like seeing right through their souls as they're talking and just going, you're full of it. Oh, you expect me to buy that type of shit, right? Because it's not about favoritism or anything to do with Daniel and Malaya. It's just looking for the truth. But how can you find any truth when you can't believe nothing that either of them have said? So someone might take Malaya's side or Daniel's side. I don't give two shits about that part. All I care is about what they're doing, their actions, their words. Are they being sincere? Are they seeming genuine? But all we've seen is there's 2 blankets. I don't know how it got in the tree. It was in the garbage. It was on the rail. I woke up to say to Malaya. No, I woke up to tell Daniel. Wait, I can't remember what time I saw Lily. Wait, I pocket dialed my mom at 8:28. Janie, I heard the kids. Again, how do you morph 2 kids disappearing with 3 adults and someone's gonna get a piece of that blanket? Who in their right mind with that blanket would ever think? They try to twist that stuff as if Haley and that planted that. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous to think that these children were just, let's come up with a master plan. I would believe in trafficking more than I would believe that they were hidden for the sake of it and not to be heard from again. That this whole big action plan happened and that no evidence, and Daniel keeps saying, I just want them to, just realize that I 100% believe that they're alive. They just need to look Malaya's way. It's like the 2 of them kind of like having little spits at each other a little bit, but yet backing each other up. And again, well, they got a lot to lose if they had anything to do with Jack and Lily's disappearance, or their lives, let's say. And most people do not want to give up. No one wants to spend a moment in jail, let alone prison time. No one wants to not be able to have their child and everything be ripped apart from them. Nobody would want that. So that's a good reason to lie. That's a good reason to cover up something. Who else? Who else really, truly, for two children, right? Who else truly, really would sit there and just on this very, what do you want to call it? Desolate area, few homes around it. I'm just going to go, you know what? I know that there's two kids there. Not only do I know that there's two kids there, but in fact, I'm going to know that Malaya called them into school as well. So we're just going to sit out here in our little vehicle, Danielle, right? We're going to sit out there and stalk these children because somehow the traffickers are very much aware that these children got called in on Friday from school and they were just stalking your house waiting for the right moment. It's ridiculous and it's absurd. And it's absurd to think that they would have gotten away with this plan of hiding and all. No. Why? There was no need of Malaya to do that at all. Oh, 1 second. Husband. Nice. All right. That's all talking to my husband. Oh, now she wants people to keep their names out there. Oh, so you want social media then? Right, Belinda? Belinda Gray, good to see you. I see guilt written all over her face. Absolutely. To me, it's like you can see all those moments. Like this lady, Natasha here, did a really good job. And Alexa, like I said, I can hardly wait till she gets back. That's the ex-criminal profiler that did that for 16 years. And instantly she said, even in the little bit she watched, just like same, right? You just know, right? It's not because you're like going, oh, well, you know, I'm so biased against Malaya that I can't see anything else. No, it's just that after all this time and watching everything you guys have done, absolutely, I don't believe any of you guys. But I was willing to listen to the interview, you know, thinking, oh, well, what are we truly going to hear today? And then I'm watching it, and the more I'm watching it, the madder I'm getting going, are you freaking kidding? Like, you're totally lying there. You can see it in your facials. You can see when you're recollecting Jack and Lily. Like, as if you're recollecting the truth of what happened to Jack and Lily. And then you're not answering stupid things that you could be answering. Why wouldn't you be telling the truth, right? If the truth will set you free. Right, Daniel? Right, Malaya? If you're telling the truth, the story doesn't change. But yet it has. Daniel's inserted so much shit from the beginning of this case. Switched it, changed it around. Malaya's clothes, I have them all. Nope. Oh, now I see what she did. And it's all to get you guys to be like, ding, 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 ding. But we're not stupid. That's just it. They might be, but we're not. And the thing is, we'd be willing to back them up if we felt there was some sincerity that, you know, that they were showing true emotions or just being out there in the public. Like Daniel, right? He's a narcissist through and through, okay? I mean, I think Daniel took it upon himself to be like, you know, for the sake of Malaya, you know, I'm just going to go to the ends of the earth looking for Jack and Lily. Remember the weird things he said? Like, if it takes me a lifetime, he said some weird stuff. Those are things that you wouldn't say at that point in time. What do you mean if it takes you to the end, right? Aren't they just hidden somewhere? Aren't they just in the woods? You know? Like, again, why would Malaya search in the woods if she believes that the children are, somebody took them? It's just all a show to me. Great story. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I really appreciate, I just think that, You know, like I said, if you watch it yourself and listen to it without any interruptions and stuff like that, um, meaning regardless, I'm sure most of you guys really enjoyed listening to Natasha here because she was spot on how we feel about it. And yes, a lot of analysis people that are covering that do talk about this case, you know, are saying the same thing. Like it's like it's like sticking up manure pile and putting a red flag in it. You know, because that's exactly what this case has become because of Daniel and Malaya. They created this whole circus. Just all you had to do was be consistent. All you had to do was show up for your kids, be a voice, instead of cracking jokes about, you know, getting a stapler 3 months later. Yeah, Janie promising to be at the vigil. You know, I can't, I just can't. People are gonna be so hard on me. But yet she claims she's, you know, boisterous. So why would you give a shit, Janie? But you didn't show up either. Yeah, monsters, a lot of predators on there too. You learn all kinds of rules, like if men self-subscribe themselves as a unicorn. It's a red flag. Captain? Oh. Yes, I probably gotta scroll down. Hi, Jess. She talks about clicks and views, but also says she wants people to keep their names out. Again, I am proud that people click and they view. I am proud. Thank you, guys. Thank you for clicking and viewing, because why? What does that do, right? Only the, like I said, morons, unintellectuals of this world would say that they're just doing it for the money purposes and stuff like that. Yeah, some do, you know, and some do it for both reasons. But I can only speak for this channel, well, and probably Charmaine's too, probably Melissa's too. And it's just that, yeah, you want the clicks and views. That's the point. The more subscribers you have, the more viewers you have, the more it gets out into the algorithm, and the more it keeps keeping their story out there so that people don't forget. If I was a parent, I would absolutely love that. If I had 2 missing children, I like, yeah, granted, right? There's going to be the good channels, the bad channels type of thing. But bottom line is that if my 2 children's names are being talked about, of course, why wouldn't I be grateful for that? But no, selfish Malaya looks at it, you know, her way about it. Because, but then again, I mean, let's just get real with it all, right? If we don't believe anything that they're saying is truthful, and that they're just covering it up, it doesn't matter anyway. Someone on that property has the answers. Yeah. Oh, Captain. It's Captain Justice. See, I was wondering why Belinda said Captain, because I instantly thought of Star Trek. And I was like, there we go. My name is Sunny Justice, actually, on the show. She should welcome the clicks and views so the channel will blow up. Right. But again, unless possibly you have something to do with it, you know, then you're going to look to the negatory. You know, poor Malaya, poor Daniel, they don't like being talked about in a situation, regardless, by if we believe their storyline, which we don't. But if we did, that was caused by them. But poor Malaya, you poor Daniel. And all I can think of is how horrendous for Jack and Lily. Just how absolutely heartbreaking is it that all this is at the expense of 2 children that are missing? They would be typically holding searches themselves and doing stuff like that, you know, not waiting 3 months for a stapler, or hiding for 15 months, and every now and again let your face be out there acting like you care for Jack and Lily, you know, and putting up posters and stuff, in my opinion. Pink, the words land back. Lily is back. Lily and back is Jack. Eh? You hurt my brain there. This is a code. Breakups, avoids, confined, conform, no lies, picked up by them. You hurt my brain. Thank you for bejeweling me. Appreciate. Joking. I'm sure there's nice ones out there. I just can't be bothered anymore. Must be talking about men. What does POF mean? Plenty of fish? Jippy, it's better to just meet people in person. Oh, I was bejeweled again. I heard it. Let's see. Hi, Laverne. Joyous, it's a dating site. Yeah, Sunny told a story about it earlier. Yeah. It got us talking about it. Plenty of fish. Yeah. Plenty of losers, plenty of freaks, plenty of wannabes, plenty of cheaters, plenty of, you know, the thing you get to learn very easily is the grass. Someone's always thinking that the grass is greener, so that they'll talk to you. And even if you're seeing each other, they'll still continue to talk, right? A lot of them are married, but we all know what those sites are. But anyways. All I know is I'm grateful. Ben, don't listen. All I know is I'm grateful that I was like, screw these transient people that live in Whitecourt. Went back to gaming, RuneScape, and I met my wonderful husband, Steve Austin, in my chat room on RuneScape. And pretty woman story. Got a great man. Every now and again, he's a little bit of a British bitch. Right? I'm the happier of us two, let me put it that way. He's more of the introverty. But anyways, yeah, so life works out in mysterious ways, you know, and stuff like that. So, but if there's anything you never give up on, now I'm preaching, never give up on love, okay? Never give up on love. Unless you truly just like being alone. Shandy was. Been watching a public court case. What if MD did something and DM is covering? It could be. I mean, it could be. I mean, I just think of, Daniel, we have to take his word still because he could twist them, you know? But those words of, she's trying to blame everything on me so she doesn't get in trouble. But that's really like him telling on himself. But Daniel tells on himself a lot. I mean, like I said, just look what he said about Narc and what was that guy's name? Reiner or something like that. But anyways, you know, about, we don't believe you, Daniel, about Thursday night. You're not, you know, it doesn't make sense. Why do you think they told Janie that the timeline doesn't make sense? 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 + 2. Okay? How do two children in about a 20-minute, 25 tops minute window disappear with 3 people on that property? No yelling from the kids, no nothing, right? So obviously it must have been some family member that was like, come here, let me just grab your blanket on our way out and we're just gonna ping, chuck it up in a tree there for you. You know? That's not sensical. It's nonsensical. Right? Hi Rhonda, 1,000 jewels. Goat trophy. Thanks, Rhonda. It just looks like such an even number. 1,000 bejewels. We're calling them rhinestones today in honor of Dolly Parton. You know, I mean, circle of life. Joyous, is it old school, old code, but still around? Most people probably migrated to Facebook dating or Tinder. Yeah. MCU is coming for you. Do. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Rhonda. Monsters of Chaos. Thank you. I've never heard of it. See, this is the part that sucks. Sometimes when you're pulling up messages, I got no idea what you guys are even going on about. Especially if I'm backed up. Is that 2 more jewels? Step by step, baby steps. Are they going to lead you to the 1,000 mark like Rhonda did? But Rhonda was just like, screw this 2 small steps. I'm just going to go right to the top. At the end of the month, I've been married 30 years. Pinky! Nice! So I had no idea. You know, I get it. But congratulations. 30 years. 30 years. Nice, nice. And so, truthfully, Pinky, I mean, some people can be married for 30 years, but they sleep in separate rooms and the love kind of is gone, but they still just do it because whatever. Are you and your hubby still madly in love? Are you guys best friends? Just be truthful. Be honest. I should host a frickin' marriagey therapy uh woman shit one night. Oh, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a members live one night, eh? We're just us females, we're just gonna let it all out. No males are allowed. Well, you males can come, to be honest, but you guys can try to talk amongst a bunch of women. But you're probably not gonna get in a word edgewise, really. I hear I've been married for 50 years. That's crazy, right, Joyous? Yeah. I have to say this. I talk to people every single day when I'm at my job. And sometimes people, well, I'm trying to think of the highest. I think the highest was like 65 years. But 50 years? That's crazy. So go on, Joyous, tell me. Tell me, Joyous. So if that's 50, I'm going to put you somewhere about 70 then. Maybe a couple years older or younger. Still rocking it? You still doing what, like, as if you were like, I don't know, like Malaya, Still rocking it there? You know what I mean. Actually, you don't have to answer that. You can answer that in the members live maybe one time. Thank you, Captain Justice. Leanne, Wong, DM, MBS, and just hold on. Yes, has. Oh, my husband. So I'm just gonna be like, come on in. Let him walk in. He keeps coming in going, baby waves. Comes back in. Need my charger. I don't even know what he grabbed that time. Grifting. Wong, DM, MBS, and Justin all have a motive in this. The plan, grifting, legal suit. Kids will be found. The more discriminating from SM, the bigger the dollars. Timeline is a set time and not real. Wait, what? Am I reading that like totally wrong? So Wong, DM, MBS, like Brad Wong, Daniel Martell, Malaya Brooks, and Justin Sundance Smith all have a motive in this. The plan, grifting, legal suit. Kids, are you being sarcastic? The kids will be found. The more discriminating from SM, the bigger the dollars. Timeline is set, not real time. You know what? I'm too tired to actually understand that. I'm not sure if it's like... Actually, I don't even know, actually. I'm sorry. But I'm sitting there, my brain cells gone, okay? But I've read that twice now, and I'm still not exactly sure what you're saying there. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or actually think that they're grifters and the big legal suit, kids will be found, the more discriminating from SM. And I'm having a brain fart. Who's FM? SM. Wow, Joyous. Congratulations. Right. Pinky got 20 years on you. She does. Oh, I see what it is, Joyous. You're getting up there in years. You got all this money to disperse. And you, like I said, obviously the people that are in here, for the most part, you guys obviously have very caring hearts. You can tell, right? Just deep empaths, caring personalities, helping out others and stuff like that. But I feel like Joyous is like, you know what? It's got to go somewhere. I'm just teasing you, Joyous. I just still can't believe your donations. Obviously, Belinda absolutely is grateful for that support. It's more words than most could ever say on there, but yeah. I'm just. But the thing is, Joyous, if you keep doing that, then I'm gonna expect to see one like every time I hit refresh every night. There's another one from Joyous. There's another one. There's another one. You know, because now you're setting the tone there. So now we're gonna have to bump it up to like 791, 792. 30 years is great, Pinky. Congratulations. My advice to single people is stay away from dating sites. Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way. It's hard to find the gem because there's like, what's that saying about, you know, some about roses and pricks and stuff like that. But anyways, it's 99% shit, and then maybe a miracle comes out of it. Now, I didn't find my miracle. Nope. Because it's just, I don't got the time of day with these arrogant, ugly wannabes that think that because they're in the oil fields and had money, that somehow, like, I remember this one guy saying to me, like, do you know who I am? That's all you need to say to me. Do you know who I am? Nope. Don't care. I did know who he was. His dad owns most of Whitecourt. Okay? So he's that little spoiled little boy that thinks, even though he's nothing to look at, you know, drunk, drugs, that thinks that he's special because of it. So it's like me turning him down. He just couldn't believe it. Because do you know who I am? My father runs this town. Great. As if I give a fuck. You know, and that's literally what I said. And I'm like, and you can go now. Because at this point, I'm just getting annoyed, right? Because he was so hell-bent on telling me just how amazing he was. Anyways, plenty of fish. Nobody wants to go to prison for neglecting their children to get high and then calling the police when they should have. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you guys, I'm coming to the end of my... getting too tired now. I literally, I don't even know if I got a half hour sleep last night. Had to get up just before 7. Worked from home at least. But then as soon as we were done that, as soon as I was done work, we had to go to the deco place because my husband had his business and his flags put on the side of the vehicle, which it's really cool actually. I like the font that he used. It's kind of like a graffiti type scratch type font type of thing. Anyways, did that, you know, and I'm like, I ain't cooking dinner. What are you buying me, husband? Had A&W. Just was like, I don't want to do a live tonight because I'm too freaking tired, but I really wanted to show Natasha's videos and talk about them, you know, type of thing. So I was just like, no, pushing it. So just pure exhaustion right here. And I gotta scroll. I'm too far behind, I think. Hi, Mama. Mama Chipmunk's in the house. Mama Chipmunk. Renee Lacoon, that's always bugged me too. What's always bugged you? The backpack. Oh, being brown. Yeah, right? The comment. Yeah. I see who it is. Captain. He's just Two. Huh. Thanks, Captain. Hi, Mama Chipmunk. Maybe doing another one soon. Don't know how soon. I think you're talking about video, obviously. There. See, you just want Ben to work hard to keep thanking you. Okay, I'm so sorry. I gotta. Absolutely. She has been listening to the T channel, clicks and views. Good grief. How far? Yeah. Brain cells gone. If it was my two children missing, the world would know my name. Absolutely. My face and my voice day by day until I found them. But Sharon, are you sure? You don't want to stop and pause and make sure that your mental health issues are intact before you can put any effort into doing anything for Jack and Lily? Right? I mean, because that's the first thing I'd think to do is, oh, yeah, you know what? If those kids aren't home within, I don't know, a month, I'm still gonna, oh, wait, what? Brandon? Was that the first one, I think, Malia's boyfriend? You know? It's such bullshit. You're a mother of two missing children. Get the fuck out there. Advocate for your children. None of this BS crap. Like, how was anyone supposed to believe Malia? Like, well, I just decided now it's the time to come out 15 months later, be a voice. I felt like this is out of my comfort zone. Oh, you poor fucking mother, you. It's out of your comfort zone. But now you've decided that you want to be a voice for Jack and Lily. Like, that's just like, you might as well just come slap all our faces for even making such stupid comments like that. It's just ridiculous that a mother of two missing children, and that's the stupidity coming out of her mouth, because that's how naive she is, and that's how it's so ridiculous. Like, you can't even wrap your head around the stupidity of the things that she's saying. And no poor Malaya. No. Malaya made her fucking bed. Sorry, I'm swearing. Malaya made her bed, and Malaya can lie in it, and whatever that encompasses, so be it. But she and Daniel, at the end of the day, are at fault regardless for Jack and Lily missing and demanding answers, and you guys not even being apologetic to the fact that it's avoidance. Well, first of all, it's probably not true, right? But secondly, it's avoidance. Okay, gonna bruise your own egos there, because you guys care more about yourselves and the perception about everything than Jack and Lily. And it's shown even in Daniel's interviews. The interview guy's like, so is there anything you want to, and he was prompted. It's not like, and then Daniel, you know how Daniel is, he'll grab something like he owns it, and he's like, yeah, exactly like I was doing all the time. No, dude, you weren't. It's only when a reporter asks you, and then you're like, yeah, if anyone has any information for Jack and Lily, go to your, go, remember Daniel? Go to your local, Yeah. Hi, Chicken Whisperer. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, there's Captain. You run out? I get 2 thumbs up instead of 2 jewels? Come on now. Dun, 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 dun. Glad you found. Thank you. Absolutely. I'm not one of those. Sometimes I'm a poor me victim, but it's very rare. I did it once, and worst thing I ever did. It's just really hard to watch that type of mentality. 2 children are missing, right? You're sitting there telling your sister and everything about Daniel and drugs and waking up and all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. Ridiculous. Oh my God, am I that far behind? Come on. Oh my God, I gotta scroll. You guys are sitting there talking about, glad you found happiness. And I'm like, wait, what? On the way by. Huh. Shit. Look at this. See, I should know. Captain. At some point, Captain, if you keep going, That's going to turn into $1. You keep it up. Hey, keep it up. Thanks again, Captain Justice. She said, touch on that. Echo, we always hear saying that. Touch on that. Yeah, I'm too out of it now. All right. Am I good? Guess I could put this up there. So thanks again for Natasha, her 2 videos of watching those. Go watch them again. I'll drop the link for that. Okay, that's behavior breakdowns. Like, what the fuck? How be I'm just honestly, I'm just at a loss for. It's a twofold. It's the JJ. Yeah, you got a few more to do than that. Captain Justice way ahead of you on there. Thanks, JJ. It's a twofold. I'm mostly annoyed because it's about 2 beautiful children, Jack and Lily, that should be here. We shouldn't be covering this story. They should be enjoying every ounce of their beautiful little lives. And yet, they're not. Right? Oh, I see. You're raising it up. Okay. Go at war with each other. Until your bank accounts are empty, eh? And so I'm more annoyed the fact of this is at the stake, that this case and the actions and lack thereof, the manipulations, the lies, the hiding, not being there for your children, Malaya, and stuff like that. I just can't believe that these 2 children are missing. They're not here. The most likely chance is that they are not with us any longer. And I'm fucking sad about that. I can't stand the thought of thinking that harm has come to children, especially at the expense of family members or someone close to them. And I'm talking about kids in general. Because that's the most likely scenario. And so it bugs me that you're sitting here watching Malaya's video. These 2 children, big smiles on their faces. You know how much we love children. Except for my husband. No, actually my husband. He doesn't mind children. He just never wanted any of his own. Malaya knows that they're not coming back alive, in my opinion. At all. Absolutely. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just staring at Jack and Lily, and I'm just... It's just so hard to know that people... whatever hurt children, neglect them. It's a far cry from what I thought being a parent is, of course. It should be, And here Belinda sits, wondering, just innocently trying to understand what happened to her grandchildren. No stake in the game, nothing. And then these people sit there and try to bash her for GoFundMe's for, lying and all that stuff. It's such a joke. It's such a joke to even think that someone would take away from Belinda, who's been there fighting for Jack and Lily. Have you seen Cindy out there doing that? Nope. Sorry, Cindy. Haven't. Let alone, It's just people claim that they want answers, but yet they don't really want to talk because they don't want to ruffle feathers and stuff like that. Fuck it. 2 children are missing. I just couldn't imagine being in those shoes. I couldn't imagine being in Belinda's shoes. Every day, exhausted, tired, heartbroken, everything. And to have to wake up to the fact that Jack and Lily, she'll never get to see them again. Because that's the most likely, ironclad 1000%, right? Right there, Darren? Probability. Yeah. But you know, it's one of those things. After a while, you get a thick skin. But it's just the fact of, you know, the one person, besides Daniel, the one person that's been out there being a voice for Jack and Lily. You know? But again, you know, right, Belinda? Let them aim, let them take fire, some of them. And at the end of the day, who's the ones that, you know, are the jerks that live their life, you know, to be people like that. Baby monkey. Okay, you know what? I am just too tired now. I can barely sit. No more, little bejeweling their Captain Justice and JJ. Well, unless you guys want to match Pinky's jewels. JJ? Captain Justice? It's just time to offload those two jewels there. Huh. Finger heart. Okay. Why is that so wrong, Pinky? And see, I probably missed your answer, Pinky, about when I asked you the question. Yeah, I shouldn't probably have. I do. No. Yeah, I do. My face, look, see how red it is? It's too hot. But anyways, you guys, I love you guys. I truly do. Not all of you, but most of you. I'm sure there's people in here that maybe watch and they're not very nice people, but I love the fact that we pulled together for Jack and Lily, for Belinda and being voice. Hold on. I just want to make sure that Pinky, or that Joyous didn't donate another $10,000. Nope, we're good. We are good. I think that's... Wait, what was this one? 2 hours ago? Hold on, I just gotta make sure. Pinky, did you just donate? You donated $100 2 hours ago? Anonymous? Oh, I just saw that right now. I was looking at the number going, is that number different? And it is. Stop screen. Share. Yeah, you guys, definitely thank you guys for being here. Thanks to Natasha again, so that I, you know, to play her videos, because I just thought it's, you know, she did a great job at seeing through the bull crap, calling each and everything, you know, that we saw, actually including mentioning about the shirt that I didn't even dawn on me that Cheryl was wearing the shirt of Jack and Lily, and that Malaya was wearing that sweater. I knew that she was wearing that sweater, but anyways, so 9,935 raised. Thank you guys. So without, chances are I'll do a live tomorrow at some point. I didn't realize Charmaine was doing a live. And then when I looked, because she sent me something, asking me for something, and I'm like, wait, are you live? I was too out of it, didn't even think, just was thinking that she would have been done one by now. But then when I looked, it was at past the 2 hour mark. But anyways, so, sorry, Charmaine. Sorry, not sorry. But, and the reason actually I did it sooner, like at 4:45, I was telling myself, if I have to wait another 45 minutes before the live, the only thing I'm going to be hitting is that bed over there. So I was like, no, just do it now. Just do it now. But anyways, prayers for Jack and Lily. All you guys, Belinda, always, you know, thanks for being here, coming into the chats and stuff, and, you know, finding your homes throughout the channels and stuff like that, knowing that this is your main home, though. Don't forget that, Belinda. Okay? Yeah. As long as you know where you know your bread is buttered, Belinda. So much love to you, Sunny. Thank you. Thank you, Pinky, and so many others for your generosity. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Sunny, check the times for the live, Charmaine's lives tomorrow, too. I think less views when all our lives at the same time. Yeah, true enough. I'll take a look. Yeah. I'll take a look, see what time she's going. Maybe. Maybe we'll join each other. I don't know. Maybe not. I'll have to talk to her. We need to do a live together again. Good night, guys. Thank you for being here. Shandy. Shandy was what? Behaving badly. On there. So, bless you guys. Oh, I guess I should share that, the GoFundMe one more time as well. Just so you know that the GoFundMe link is in each video. Natasha's link for her channel is in the section of the video, you know, where it says more, you know, type of idea. Anyways, hey, Charmaine, it works. Thanks for becoming a member, Renee. You guys, why am I thinking about Christmas time already? I'm not even thinking of Halloween or Thanksgiving. I just right to Christmas. Anyways, prayers. See you guys tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. And biggest hugs ever. Okay, guys? Have a great night.